Gladiator, perhaps the greatest modern epic ever to hit the big screen. Ridley Scott's film Gladiator grossed over $460 million worldwide in the year 2000 and was nominated for 12 Academy Awards, winning 5. With the Best Picture award under its belt and Russell Crowe running away with Best Actor, this movie was driven to monumental heights and a legendary status. Upon first watching, I was merely entertained by its grand spectacle, its heroic battle scenes, and its inspiring original score. But having recently watched it over again, I was floored and taken aback by the characters. What I came to realize on this last viewing was that this story is not just a physical confrontation between two opposing characters. The story of Gladiator is a battle between two characters and their display of leadership and power. We have Maximus, Roman general and later gladiator, our protagonist, our hero. And then we have Commodus, who becomes the new emperor of Rome, our antagonist, our villain. The contrast between the two is incredible and intentional. These two men essentially represent the Cherokee parable of the two wolves. One is good, and one is evil. One is a man out to seek revenge, and one is an emperor out to destroy the greatest threat to his power. The stakes are high and personal. It is a battle of courage and greed. This is Gladiator. In the opening scene, we are introduced to our hero. In the old Cherokee parable, this is the good wolf. Here we have Maximus, a general, a commander of thousands in the barbarian lands of Germania. His whole reason for being there is because he believes, at least in the beginning, that Rome is what brings the light to the human race. Other nations are what he calls cruel and dark, which is why he has chosen to be away from his home and in foreign lands. Here, he is with his troops. When leading both in Germania and in the great arena, the audience cannot help but notice just how much these warriors look to him as a beacon, a man they can have full confidence in. As he walks past them, we see they honor him either by kneeling or by chanting his name and raising their fists. Why? What is it about him that gives these men this confidence, this trust and respect to one man? They are not forced to do so, so why do they do it? And General Douglas MacArthur said this: "A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent." What makes Maximus such a magnetic presence is that he does not see himself above anyone, whether they are under his command militarily or just a mere boy. He does not seek leadership positions, but knows he can perform if called upon. Maximus knows that just because he has been in command of thousands, this does not make him better or worse than those around him. He sees himself only as one part of a bigger plan. In the battle against the Germanian tribes, we see our hero lifting up a fallen soldier, fighting in the mud and getting his hands dirty. Later, we see Maximus tending to his men, and even asking his servant his honest opinion of what he thinks of his position.
You'll find it hard to do your duty.
Sometimes I do what I want to do. The rest of the time, I do what I have to.
The mark of a true leader is when he does not put himself above or below those he commands. He has the confidence to know when to put his beliefs into fruition, even at times being sharp with those under him.
Soldier, I ordered you to move those catapults forward. They're out of range.
Range is good.
A danger to the cavalry.
It's acceptable. Agree.
And also speaking his mind to those over him.
5,000 of my men are out there in the freezing mud. 3,000 of them are bloodied and cleaved. 2,000 will never leave this place. I will not believe that they fought and died for nothing.
And what would you believe?
They fought for you. And for Rome.
But he, as a leader, is humble enough to know that this does not make him any more important than the next man. And then we have Commodus, the famous parable's evil wolf. When we first meet him, we see him out of the elements, out of the snow and the mud. His robes are clean, and he is safe from any danger. In this scene, we are shown, through the conversation he has with his sister, one of Commodus's greatest weaknesses, that being his obsession with power. Who has it, and who does not? When will he get his? In actuality, Commodus has no real authority when it comes to leading the masses. He is the son of the emperor, so he does have power. However, it is power that is not far-reaching. It has no real merit when it comes to the people. Not long after the end of the battle in Germania, we learn of perhaps Commodus's most crippling weakness. It is both sad and tragic, but this is what leads him to his villainesque status. Commodus wants the love of his father. Above all, this is what he desires. He desires love, both from his father, his sister, and the people he will soon rule. To him, his worth comes from those outside of him, and how he is viewed in their eyes. This flaw is understandable. Many of us, if not all, have that same desire. We crave love and affection. However, in the case of our villain, he takes it so far that it controls everything about him. When Commodus is told that he is not meant to be Rome's next emperor, he realizes that all his efforts to please his father have been in vain. The love that he wishes from his parent is not there. This is the tragedy, his fall, and what causes Commodus to murder his father. It is what causes him to wipe out Maximus's family and also attempt to have Maximus himself killed. Of his many insecurities, the one that ties in most with his greed is when he feels that others are above him and that he is not in control. To him, he must be in control and have power so that he can at last have that elusive feeling of being loved. A great leader is one that sees himself as an equal to all, whether rich or poor, and focuses on things that he can control and not on what others think of him. A poor leader is one that feels he must be the one in power. This display of character shows a lack of confidence. The charisma that oozes from Maximus comes in larger measure from his confidence, which is displayed perfectly in his private conversation with Proximo.
I will win the crowd. I will give them something they've never seen before.
Maximus knows his abilities and his goals. He is a general, a warrior, a soldier, and he believes he will execute those skills to perfection to accomplish his inevitable vengeance. He will take life and is a master at doing so. We see this when Maximus fights in the African arena, and even more fully as he commands the other gladiators within the Colosseum. His skill is unparalleled by most around him. This is another drawing factor of Maximus's persona. Subconsciously, the gladiators around him are motivated by his skill, this confidence, and want to be a part of it. Due to this, Commodus views Maximus as a threat to his power, a threat to his control. He lacks confidence, and this causes him to be consumed with jealousy, the omen that has plagued the human race since the beginning, an omen to which renders Commodus incapable of being a competent leader. He is not the master of his fate. He cannot perform and grow his own skills, because he lacks the understanding that all are of equal worth. To him, in order to have worth, he must eliminate the threat that is Maximus, and Commodus must do it within the Colosseum itself, in front of the people, so that they will know that he is the better man, that he alone must have power. It is Maximus versus Commodus, the light and the darkness, the clashing of the sword that commences as the battle that has been raging through the whole film brought into physical form. It is the final round of the famous fight between the two wolves. Of the tale, we know this. An old Cherokee was teaching his grandson about life. "A fight is going on inside me," he said to the boy. "It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you, and inside every other person too." The grandson thought about it for a minute, and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." The story of Gladiator is an archetype of the battle we see within ourselves. It is through these characters that we see it. In Commodus, we see our own lust, jealousy, and selfishness. In Maximus, we see our own light, goodness, and humility. At times, we are more like Commodus and let our ego get in the way of our highest potential. But at others, we reach that goodness and confidence that is exuded from Maximus. We become, as Nelson Mandela says, the master of our fate. Through all ages of time, we have seen the goodness of the human spirit. We have also seen when people have let the evil consume them. It comes from a feeling of jealousy, superiority, and ego. Maximus is the embodiment of the ideal man, the ideal leader. He is the spirit of the hero within us. Thanks to Ridley Scott's compelling film, we learned this, and it is why the story of Gladiator is the greatest modern epic. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this, please hit the subscribe button down below, and thanks for watching.